Hello, everybody. Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting as we are here with the ARCA Evolution Series from the Evolution Racing Leagues as they take on the Las Vegas Motor Speedway with the ARCA Series cars here tonight. What a show it should be here. 65 laps, but we got to always give a shout out to our sponsors here that make it happen here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcast. So we want to make sure always to give a warm welcome to Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. Make sure to go check them out at ornissancentral.com and check out what they have in store for you there. Next, we want to give a shout out to Sheffield Graphics, the leading design and graphics in sim racing schemes. So you make sure you go check them out. They are founded by a Navy veteran. A portion of their charity, or sorry about that, portion of their marketplace goes to their charity, the Folds of Honor. So make sure you go check out Sheffield Graphics and see what they can do for you there. Third, we have ButtKicker. Feel what you have been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go check out ButtKicker at buttkicker.com, and you can use FreakyFast20 to get 20% off on any purchase on their website. Make sure you go check out the Freaky Fast Facebook page, and you can also check out the entries we have there for our giveaway going on for a ButtKicker LFE system. So make sure you go check that out, and you can win yourself some stuff. But we want to make sure I always give a shout out to the sponsors here we have tonight. But man, I tell you what, we're right now just nearing the end of our practice session here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Right now, we got the 01 of Steve Jennings on top of the board in front of last week's winner of Hunter Hayward. But we should see some special stuff tonight. I am Zach Hall up in the booth. I got Brandon Colley up here tonight calling the shots with me, and Robert Moyer Jr. running the cameras. So, Brandon, what can we expect to see tonight, man, here from Las Vegas?
Well, Zach, I expect to see some cars stepping out quite a bit. Watching these guys out here in practice, it looks like it's a bit difficult for anybody to really run that low line. I think if you can figure that out early on and not get the car too out of shape, you'll have a lot of pace late. Then once tires come in, of course, we'll be seeing the middle line in 1 and 2, and maybe the high line in 1 and 2. But I think we may see the middle line a bit earlier in 3 and 4 than we're used to seeing. I expect quite a few cautions just by the way these cars are handling out here, but should make for a really exciting race.
That it should be. Hopefully, multi-groove racing can be the big subject of tonight. We head off into qualifying to see who can bring home that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award here tonight at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It should be very close times, but 65 laps here tonight. That's going to be a very interesting, the way it's going to play out with strategy, especially with the 60% fuel load. They have one set of tires in the pits, and what type of strategy do you think we're going to see? I mean, most likely split it down the middle, but cautions could play a big factor in that.
Well, I think it's going to depend a lot on track position, Zach. If you're in the back, I think you try to run it as long as possible, not necessarily split it down the middle, and maybe hope for a caution later in the race and take advantage of fresher tires to gain yourself some more track position. If you're in the front, I think you just try to extend your lead and hope that nothing happens. If there's going to be cautions, hope that they're at the start of the race and everybody's able to get themselves sorted out by the time we hit the midway or the 3/4 mark. We have seen before that a lot of these guys are very willing to just try some out of the box strategies here, and I'm sure we'll see it again tonight. We're just gonna have to wait and see how it all plays out.
Right now, riding on board here during qualifying, looks like this is the 21 of Hunter Hayward in the DoorDash number 21 as he crosses the start-finish line here to put down his first lap at 39:06. Great lap there, not far from where he ran it in practice. We'll see if the second lap's better, but I'm imagining the first lap will be the best, but maybe as the tires warm up and come into a little bit more grip zone, maybe that second lap will be a true faster lap.
I think we're going to see, if any, a slight improvement. The track temp is really cooling off as we're starting to transition to night, which is going to take a little bit longer for the tires to really get up to temp and get a lot of pace out of him. As we see here, he more or less matches his practice time. So 30.85 here for Hunter Hayward. Let's see if anybody else that was up at the top of the board. I believe it was Josh Holmes and the 01. See if they can come up here and challenge for that pole position.
Riding on board the double bubble machine. I like this. I like the paint scheme here. Riding on board with very nice looking scheme right now as Hayward, goes faster on the second lap to 30.85. Great time. Josh Holmes putting himself second on the board. I believe that is his first lap. And no, I'm not correct there. That is his second lap. So right now putting himself in the second position. You got Christopher Smerol in the third spot at the moment. Kel Seaman in in the 17 and fourth. So as actually Brian Fine puts himself up into the third position in that 98 tide machine.
Yeah, Kel Seaman jumping up to second on the board here with a 30.94. Great qualifying effort for a lot of these guys. The times are really close at the top of the board right now, and then the farther you get down, I mean, it's not that far off for really anybody. It's just, less than a tenth of a second can get you a handful of positions here. It's now Stephen Carey and Steve Jennings tied for second place right now with 30.88.
Wow, look how close the times are right now. As you said, pretty much a dead heat for second. Looks like 1,000ths of a second will be the difference between second and third place at the moment with Stephen Carey and Steve Jennings. So great lap times being put down here in qualifying. But at the moment, it looks like Hunter Hayward is holding on to it. We got a few more drivers yet to put times down. Looks like Ryan C. White and Michael Haru yet to put any time in here on the racetrack, but we'll have to see if those two can push themselves up the board. As actually Ryan C. White goes 27th on the board with his first lap. And I believe Michael Haru, he goes 28th on his first lap. Actually has a big mistake too. So not the greatest laps for these two drivers. It looks like Hunter Hayward may be safe unless Ryan C. White can pull off something here as he goes down to 3 and 4.
Well, I think with that mistake and his exit out of 2 there, I don't think it's going to be quite quick enough to knock Hunter Hayward off the pole position right now, and he's slowing down, coming to the line here. He's winding it down. Scott Taylor out here taking, looks like his second lap, his first lap here. I'm not sure, but Scott Taylor's a little bit of speed so far this season, and one of the things, it's a short race, so qualifying up front is. It's still a really big deal. But if you can get your head around the handling and what the car wants from you to be fast and not step it out a bunch, where you start really isn't going to matter. You just need to stay out of trouble and avoid the guys that may be having a little bit more trouble, handling the car at the high speeds than you are.
Looks like Scott Taylor is going to slot into the 21st position in the 97 machine, and that is the end of qualifying. Hunter Hayward will be your Steffel Graphics pole winner here tonight in the ARCA Evolution Series. Congrats to him. And we'll pull up our starting lineup here to go through and let you know where your favorite drivers are starting from this evening. As you can see, Hunter Hayward going to lead us to the green. Last week's winner in that 21 machine. Second's going to go to Stephen Carey in the 83. Third is going to be the 01 of Steve Jennings. Fourth is Kel Seaman. Fifth, Josh Holmes. Sixth, Steven Rasick. Seventh is Brian Fine. Eighth will go to Christopher Smerol. Ninth is Richard Gonzalez. 10th will go to Harold Rothery. 11th is Garrett Fox. 12th is points leader David Edwards. 13th is Chris Claude. 14th was going to go to Justin Malarkey. Steve Potter will start in the 15th position. 16th is going to be Jeff Carson. 17th, Matt Upbrook. Justin Hendry is going to start in the 18th position, with 19th going to Buddy Pitts. 20th is James Wright. 21st, Scott Taylor. 22nd, Caleb Kilo. 23rd is Zach Sandlin. 24th, Lon Coleman. 25th, Carl Thompson. 26th, Matthew Dude. 27th, Kevin Dowd. 28th is Ryan C. White, and rounding out your field in the 29th position is Michael Haru. And that is your starting lineup here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series, as we'll go ahead and pull up Hunter Hayward, our Sheffield Graphics pole winner here.
Hey, Hunter, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, man, went from winning last week, starting on the pole this week. only about 5 thousandths off your practice time here. Seems like the track is cooling off a bit, but the speed's not really going anywhere. We've noticed it seems a little bit loose out there tonight. How do you think the handling's gonna change from the start of this race here to maybe the halfway point?
Well, man, I came into this track. I practiced here a little bit. I had a cup race here at this track on Sunday with the cup cars, but I knew it was definitely going to be on the freer side. I think I kicked up my brake bias a little bit. Um, yeah, the corners are definitely very free. I got a little practice and knew how to deal coming in and out of the corners. But yeah, I mean, great competition out here today. I'm looking forward to this race, and I'm glad to be starting out in pole.
We're excited to watch this thing. It's going to be fun. Love Vegas, and these cars are always a blast to see out racing. They're to handle like really nothing else. So we're excited to see how this one plays out, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, that was Hunter Hayward, your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight, the 21 machine. So that'll lead us to the green flag here tonight for 65 laps at the ARCA Evolution Series. It should be a great battle down to the very end here with 29 drivers, 65 laps, 60% fuel. It's going to be one heck of a show. So don't miss it here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So we want to make sure to thank you all for tuning in and joining us here tonight for this heck of a show here to start off our doubleheader here on the Tuesday night on Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
Zach, as we're getting ready to take green here, got to be careful when we start this first lap. Tires are going to be really hazardous being cold like this, and there's a lot of cars, and that's a lot of trouble that you can end up in here. So take it nice and easy on the start.
Nice and easy on the start. Pace car is in this time. Cars are getting ready to roll. Green flag is in the air, and we will start tonight's 65 lap event here with Hunter Hayward leading us down to turn one to kick off tonight's ARCA Evolution Series.
Yellow flag is out.
One lap in the books, but our first Ora Nissan Central caution has come out of turn 4 to bring out the first yellow of tonight, as Hunter Hayward was able to lead that first lap, but some type of accident happened back here off the exit of turn 4. And I tell you what, it was a pretty big one here, as we're going to try to figure out where this all started out at. And I believe the 6 of Richard Gonzalez was around it.
I believe it was the 2 of Steven Rasick, just a little bobble through 3 and 4.
Ah, yes, the 2 of Steven Rasick. Here's we'll go back on the Freaky Fast. Replaying your show. There's the 2 sideways. Oh, he comes down the racetrack sideways. The 6 is there. And then, here comes the 2 of Steven Rasick again, getting into Richard Gonzalez. And that is heavy damage for both those race cars. You're going to see the 2 slide up the racetrack. Oh, man. I am not sure what car number that was, but there was some heavy damage out here on the racetrack. I believe it was Justin Malarkey there getting one of the really big hits in the 73. But, man, a lot of cars damaged here from that first caution here, Brandon.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I talked about. You know, these cold tires and seeing the handling issues a lot of these guys were having in practice, you've just got to be so careful and get to a point where you know you're more comfortable with the car before you start pushing, and stuff like this happens. And I tell you, we talked before we went live here, and I'm heartbroken because Richard Gonzalez was involved running that awesome Earnhardt throwback scheme. So hopefully you can get the fender back on that thing and make it look a little bit more pristine.
Yeah, definitely want to get the fenders back on it here for the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, man. It's unfortunate start for a few drivers, but you never know. You know, Las Vegas, they do a pretty good job to work on these ARCA cars. A few of those guys could come out of there with some pretty big scrapes, but you never know. Sometimes scrapes make you tougher.
Calluses.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it heals and the callus is over, and then boom, you're good to go. So next time when you have a little boo boo, it it doesn't bleed as much. We wish that was on race cars. I wish the our cars could build calluses, because I tell you what, my right side of my car would have a huge callus.
That's right. Yeah, man, I'd be unstoppable at Darlington if that were the case.
That would definitely be the way to go if we could have that. But unfortunately, we cannot. As we're looking through the field here a little bit, you got Steve Jennings in that 01. He right now is in that 4th position. There's the 14 of Christopher Smerol running in 7th. You got the 98 of Brian Fine right there in the 6th position. But that first caution, these early cautions like this, Brandon, we always talk about it, but it always makes an interesting way to see how the rest of the race plays out. Sometimes it calms down, and then sometimes I feel like the aggression picks up with the early caution, because you just got started, and then you're like, oh man, you're ready to go again.
Well, it's a lot of the time, you try to take advantage as best you can on a restart here. Guys maybe having to check up a little bit, and you can gain a lot of positions like that. But unfortunately, sometimes it leads to a lot more cautions. The most dangerous part of the race is a restart. It's where everybody's all packed together like sardines, and where a slight miscue from one driver is going to cause just a cascade effect. And the caution may not even happen next to the guy who maybe spins his tires or gets a little loose, has to check up. It's going to happen a couple cars back for people that really didn't have much to do with it.
Looks like we're going to start to get double foul, I believe, this time, as I believe the lights here on the pace car will go out, and we will get double foul back here with 1 to green.
For anybody that's been following the ARCA Evolution series for a while, traditionally after a caution, 1 lap after a restart, we'll go single file restart. The admins have determined that they want to switch that rule up here. They're going to opt to go to double file restarts just to help and kind of improve the racing product just a little bit, unless they deem it more safer to do the single file, or if it will improve the racing to do so. So we're going to have a double file restart here as per usual.
And when we get this back going, we'll be completed lap 5 here with 60 to go here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the ARCA Evolution Series. Hunter Hayward leading the field with Stephen Carey in the 2nd position here. I tell you what, we did have a bunch of bruises there, but a lot of race cars still out on this racetrack, ready to go to battle, as the pace car will take the left-hand turn down to pit road. And we'll wait for that green flag to wave. There it is, green flag in the air. Hunter Hayward takes off, leading this field down to turn 1. He's got Stephen Carey there closing the door on that 83 on the 70 Kelsey. As they head down to turn 1, looks like it'll be single file for the first 4, but then there on back, it's going to be pretty much side-by-side racing.
Yeah, about all the way back to 10th, only 1 per group that's double file right now, really racing everybody else single file back to 94. Close call there. Man, they're getting after it already. I was thinking, maybe that early caution had put the fear into some of these guys, but that does not seem to be the case right now.
Great racing going on through here, right on board with the 94 Steve Potter in the 14th position. You can see in front of him. Drivers spread it out, and that's what you're going to see down here in the turn 1 and 2 area. You're going to see drivers that elect to run higher up the racetrack to get out of those bumps in that bottom lane.
Yeah, on the restarts, the bottom of 1 and 2 is really where you want to be. But once you get really up to speed, you're going to be gravitating more toward that middle to high line. More so the middle this early in the run, because those bumps on the entry to turn 1, they're jarring. And looks like triple zero.
Oh, Josh Holmes goes around. That's going to be our 2nd or Nissan Central caution. You've seen it right here live on Freaky Fast. That 000 go around in the 4th position. I tell you what, that's unfortunate for Josh. They're running a great spot. Just turned into 1 and lost that rear end. that these cars are just wicked loose. As we'll go back here on the Freaky Fast replay and check it. You'll see him go down to turn 1 here, and just that 000 just break loose and cannot hold on to that thing here. Is he had it initially saved, but then it stepped away from again as he got the apron. And then these cars coming from behind, they got a little bit of damage there for this 85 of Garrett Fox there. He got a little bit of unfortunate damage, and I sent the 000 around also. So some damage on his right rear to go along with that. So definitely some contact still there, but it could have been a lot worse for a lot of guys.
Yeah, we watched it as I was talking about it. The bumps down into turn 1, they just upset the balance of the car, and it takes a little while to get the weight transfer and all this directly underneath you again, where you can really get the power down. And you saw him save it, but then the car shifted back to that right rear, and it started to step out again, and that happens a lot. You really have to get out of the throttle when you have a moment like that. It's really hard to try to drive out of it, and a lot of times that's what you're going to see happen.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic, save. I mean, even though he didn't save the car fully from going around, he kept it in an area where drivers could go around him, because that right there could have turned into a huge mess. I mean, from the way it looked when he got initially sideways, you're like, well, there's going to go a few cars, but he did a good job of holding on that bottom lane, keeping it pretty calm and controlled with that slide, and let everybody, get by, and no harm, no foul so far.
Yeah, absolutely. If it weren't for the contact with the 85, that really wouldn't have been that big of an incident. I'm sure he would have hurt the tires sliding like that, but he did a really good job of keeping it low on the track, not overcorrecting, and hooking it straight towards the wall right in front of a lot of people, and then making his car completely uncontrollable. And just the positioning of where everybody was running directly behind him. Really good heads up by a lot of guys to find a way around and kind of anticipate the way that car was going to react as it was sliding.
Yeah, and looking at Garrett Fox's front tire, that front left, it does not look bad on that 85. So he doesn't really look like he got too much damage in that 85 from that contact, and I think he's going to be all right when all this turns out.
Well, I think in the car he's going to be thinking it's a lot worse than it is. Hopefully, maybe he's got a spotter or somebody that can look at it there and say, "Hey, man, that's really no big deal at all." So I don't know about you, Zach, but anytime that I've been, racing and I have just a little bit of, maybe I scuffed the wall or something, it's always in my head. I'm like, man, I just completely tore the right front out of this thing. And it always looks just a tiny little buckle you can see out of your windshield on the right front. It looks devastating, but a lot of times it's not really all that dramatic at all.
Yeah, what you see in the cockpit can be a little misleading, in my opinion. Sometimes, you see a huge little lump there, and it could just be, not really that bad, like you said. So it's you can make it worse too. I really feel like there's almost a placebo effect with the way damage is in these cars. Yeah, it does. It definitely affects you. I mean, we can all attest to damage affecting the aerodynamics. But I think sometimes even it gets in your head where it's worse than it really is, and it can, it can just be something that makes you think that you're going slower, so you automatically go slower.
Yeah, exactly. You see the damage and you just feel for some reason like the whole car feels different now, and it causes you to drive different. When really, if you just kept doing the same thing you were doing, you would have lost a little bit of speed for it. But I mean, it's not even going to be close to how bad you may think it is. So like you said, it's a placebo thing, just a visual, and you're like, oh man, the car is completely screwed. So.
That's for sure. It definitely could be a big placebo effect to your mind, and you never want that to happen here. As we are pace car lights back out again here, as we are double file back up, and I tell you what, that sun is bright coming over those turn 2 boards there. I just got blinded a little bit, so I might need to go grab some sunglasses here as this race closes out. Because after it goes down, I'm gonna need to take them off because it's gonna get pretty dark around here.
Well, the benefit of sim racing here on iRacing is I turn my graphics down so I don't see that. Also
Yeah,
helps that I'm running on a laptop and I can't run those graphics that high, but
yeah, it was pretty glaring. I can tell you that much. I don't know what they've done in the past few updates or so, but man, there's been a few races I've done where the sun has been pretty bad in a few times of the day. So it's pretty realistic though. That's what you fight here, racing in these cars. So we'll have to see how it
now
all
we need
shakes out as
tinted
we get on to turn
visors.
one. Yeah, tinted visors are for sure. Looks like pace car is gonna pull in. We're gonna go back green flag racing for our third restart of the night. Hunter Hayward gonna lead us back to the green flag with Stephen Carey closes the door on Kel Seaman there at the start. I tell you what, he wanted to get down to second here as we ride on board with the 0-1 of Steve Jennings.
Like I mentioned, the inside there for turn 1 on a restart, it's really the preferred lane. The bumps aren't going to affect you that much as you're not up to full speed here yet. But we saw last time we had a caution. Just go in once you get full up to speed there and you're not ready for it. It looks like Hunter Hayward, he's been able to make that work pretty well. Now to a little over half a second lead here on Stephen Carey in second.
Yeah, he got a really good jump there on that this first initial lap. He's done really great. But looking back right now, the battle is Steve Jennings. He's battling with, I believe that's the 85 of Garrett Fox there with the 14 of Christopher Smerol. As even behind that, you got Scott Taylor battling with the 15 of David Edwards, our points leader in the double bubble machine.
Yeah, a little close there on the 97 pass and David Edwards. And, you talked about the double bubble machine of David Edwards. Also got to point out the 16 of Matt Upbrooks has a Twix and Mars bars car tonight.
Oh, that's, you know what? They're doing this for Robert. This is the candy car for Robert. Remember last time he had some interesting candy in his car? So David Edwards and teammate Matt Upbrook, they're out here teasing Robert with candy. Oh, he's got a Twix car.
Sheen on it.
It's very sheeny.
Yeah. Reflection is pretty nice. That's a slick scheme.
Very nice. I like Twix bars too. I think Robert has left the building. That's what happens when you have a cameraman addicted to candy and you get candy cars out here. It makes him go walk away and get candy. So now we're stuck here on this camera for a little bit. So lap 17 clicking up here as we look at the Twix car.
And just ahead of him, that 6 of Richard Gonzalez, really nicely rebounding after the early contact with the incident with the 2 on lap 1. Car looks almost good as new.
Yeah, really did do a good job. Back up to 18th. That's like you said, good job on his part. Remember, no fast repairs. So they cleaned that car up nicely for that 6 machine. He's working that upper groove there behind James, right in that 8 machine in the 5th position. Or 15th position.
Still got a lot of speed here.
Really does. Got a lot of great speed going to the bottom lane here, working over these guys. As you can see, great racing here in the 15th to 14th positions right now.
Zach back up to the front here, just cycling through the field, and Brian Fine making the pass on the 17 of Cale Seaman to move himself in the 3rd place, as well as Stephen Carey has run down Hunter Hayward now, back by 0.2 of a second here, so about a car length and a half.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit closer up here between these top drivers out here in this field. On lap number 19, as we look on board with Stephen Carey as he's taking it through 3 and 4 here, coming off the 4 directly behind our leader of Hunter Hayward. But I tell you what, he's got Brian Fine all over his mirror, and he's definitely going to have to think about that 98 behind him.
Well, I'm going to watch the lines here a bit, Zach, and I think you can attribute the gains that Stephen Carey has made. He's being a little bit more aggressive through the corners right now, whereas Hunter Hayward, he's electing to keep it really pinned down to the apron there, that white line at the bottom of the corners. And he's really having to roll out of it to get it to stick there. Whereas Stephen Carey's being a bit more aggressive, can carry a little bit more speed off the corner. It's going to hurt his tires maybe later on. We'll just have to see how much, as he's right up to the back one now at 21.
all on the back of our leader, Hunter Hayward. Here you can see, looking back from Hunter Hayward's 21 car, you see that E3 is Stephen Carey working a little bit lower as they come out of 2, going down to 3 and 4. At the moment, Hayward's still holding on to that lead, but it is a 6-car breakaway up front.
Stephen Carey right there, getting ready to do some bumping there on the back bumper of the 21 here. Like he's going to take the middle line now. And the line difference looking like Stephen Carey's doing almost a later apex than what we're seeing from the 21 of Hunter Hayward. That's allowing him to kind of cut down and get a little bit better of a run, even though he's lower off the exit of the corner, but got a great run out of 2 that time, running the middle line here, looking to contend.
Great battle for the lead. Stephen Carey working the outside lane here as they come off of 4. You can see directly side by side as they look back at the rest of the field. 83 is Stephen Carey trying to lead a lap here at the outside of the speedway as they go through 1 and 2. This is where the higher line is going to prevail more. Let's see as they come out of 2 here. 21 ahead, but not enough to slide up in front. They're going to be directly side by side as they head down to 3 and 4 with the battle for 3rd and 4th heating up also.
Well, it's not really too much out of what Hunter Hayward's already been doing, running that extreme low line, keeping it really pinched down there. It's hurting his exit speed a little bit because he can't swing all the way out to the wall, but I'm interested to see how this, as this run goes on, you know, not moving up to the higher line, how much that's going to hurt your tires, having to keep pinned down there like that. It looks like Stephen Carey's backing it up just a little bit now. Maybe overheated tires, just trying to catch back up with the gap that was there. And then make the pass. He's just not quite enough there. The tires are a little bit too warm, falling back here and just letting him cool off and get another charge at it.
Yeah, you know, he worked that outside very well, but Hayward defended and made that bottom work. And he's got a little gap now, but those two did pull away while battling as the 17 of Kel Seaman and Brian Fine with the battle. It looks like Kel was able to get past him. You also got Garrett Fox directly behind that 98. Now you got Christopher Schmerol ducking out in that number 14 machine, trying to get into the top 5 here with that 14 as he showed a lot of speed this season.
Absolutely, was in contention last week for a win after some unfortunate incident at the towards the end of that race. Didn't quite pan out the way he wanted to, but I expected him to come in here and show a lot of speed tonight, and he's proven that thought pretty correct. He's up 2 positions now in the 6th place, and looking like he's got a lot of speed here to get up and contend for these front 3 and potentially the lead.
Yeah, and it's been a good season so far for the 14. It started off rough at Daytona for him, getting caught up in a little incident there, but then came back, won at the Homestead Miami Speedway, and then last week, unfortunately, Auto Club was not able to come home with the probably the finish he deserved. It was definitely going to be, I'd say, a top 5, top 3 night for him, if not a victory in that 14 with the pace he showed. So he's definitely showing he's one to beat here this season.
Yeah, looking to make short work of Garrett Fox in that 85. Great run out of 2 here to set up the pass on the inside of 3 and 4. Looks like Fox is going to give him that position pretty easily, roll out of it here. And now we're going to see if Christopher Smurl can reel in these guys at the front here. He's got a 2nd gap now, looks like, to our leader of Hunter Hayward.
Yes, he does. The gap is building. Looking back here is Zach Sandlin in the 57, running in the 14th position, directly behind Steve Power. Look at him up in the top lane. That's seeing a few guys search up there, Brandon, up in 1 and 2 in that very top lane. And that's what Las Vegas gives you a chance to do, though, is search around for grip.
And that was my preferred lane the last time that I ran a race here. Granted, it wasn't in the ARCA cars, it was in the Cup cars, but there was a lot of speed, especially mid-run to late run. If you can get up there and run just over that top seam, you can rip the wall pretty well and get a major run down the back straightaway.
At the moment, looking at James Wright in the 22nd position in that 8 car. Oh, he's coming up on the back of the 81. Jeff Carson here is for the 21st position. He's got Buddy Pitts directly ahead of him. Battle heating up here for the top 20 as they head into 3 and 4. But I tell you what, up front, Hunter Hayward has hit the check out and button because he's starting to really pull away now, Brandon.
last time by, he was 4/10 quicker than second place of Kale Seaman. So he is turning on the afterburners here. Man, Hunter is just, he shows up and has speed, it seems like, at every track. There's really not many tracks that he'll go to where he's just not comfortable and doesn't feel like he can carry a lot of pace.
Oh man, 3 wides to go down the front straightaway. David Edwards making the move through the middle on Steve Jennings in 0-1. That puts him up to 6, but he's working the outside of Garrett Fox to put himself up in the top 5. And remember, that is points leader David Edwards there, up into the top 5 now in that double bubble race car. He's definitely running his way up to the field from that 12th position starting spot. So great start to this event here, but I tell you what, we're nearing the halfway point, Brandon.
Yeah, and the caution laps are going to help quite a bit for saving on the fuel. Should get an extra, maybe 5 laps out of it. But I'm not sure with the 60% fuel load exactly how far they can go. I'd imagine it's got to be just over the halfway point. Hunter Hayward, I talked about it before. I believe he's just going to run and try. Somebody like David Edwards, now that the field has got spread out, that risk for caution is not there right now. But once we get into the pit cycle, guys on fresher and older tires, that's when you may run into trouble here. I've seen it happen a lot of times where it's really beneficial to stay out and run it dry because you get a lot of track position if there's a caution during the pit cycle.
Yeah, I'm wondering when they will have to pit. With a 60% load, I'm thinking somewhere before 40. I'm thinking 37 to 40, but that caution is going to help them. So I think they should be able to get to the probably 40, I'd imagine, at most here. But lap 34, we'll have to see when they decide to come down pit road and get those tires and fuel, because that's your last set. And I think, like you said, Brandon, you definitely want to, go ahead and stretch that fuel as far as you can, because then if the caution does come out, you are sitting in a position with the freshest tires possible.
Absolutely. And especially since the addition of the tire limits for the races, that's really the name of the game. It's just trying to play a strategy that gives you decent track position, but also the freshest tires really of anybody. If you can have fresher tires than 75% of the field, you're in a very good spot.
Getting a great shot here from the 94 of Steve Potter here. He's working the outer groove of 1 and 2. See what he does as he goes down here to 3/4. He's going to work the bottom to really a half a lane off the bottom here. In 3 and 4 in the 12th position at the moment. So right there you can see right at the end of the top 5. So trying to squeak that out. Here's the 33 of Carl Thompson. He's a car directly behind him. Let's see what he does. He goes down the turn. He's going to decide to sell it to the middle lane right on the seam, dropping a little bit lower, about a half a lane off the bottom here as it comes off the 2.
And it worked out pretty well. Matt Upbrook directly behind him. Got a little bit of a run running higher up in the corner down the straightaway. But not too much. Carl Thompson looking like he's got some pretty good pace out there right now, Zach.
Yeah, looking very strong for Carl Thompson there in that 66 machine, as he has Matt Upbrook directly behind him in that Twix machine there, in that trying to get to the 13th position possible.
We've got some takers for pit road. Stephen Carey opting to pit from 4th position here this time by.
So lap 37 here, hitting pit road to get service done on this race car. And, that tells me I think pit stop's definitely going to happen here in the next 2-3 laps for the rest of these guys. And we'll see if anybody tries to stretch it as far as possible. But at the moment, with the lead Hunter Hayward has, I think Hunter Hayward just needs to stretch it as far as he can go. And he'll have the tire advantage if these guys do undercut him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to gain, or he's going to lose a little bit of that gap, but the fresher tires, especially with his long run pace that he's showing right now, he'll easily be able to make that difference up. The 85 of Garrett Fox coming in this time by. I think, like you said, about lap 40 to 42 is when we should see about everyone on pit road.
It'll be very interesting. I got to give Hayward, props to right now for how good he's run, because This is going to be our 4th race of the season. This is only his 2nd race of this season. So if he can go back-to-back wins in 2 starts, that's a great way to start out your season. By missing two races, but then you come back and win your other 2.
Absolutely. Really helps with the points, especially, missing a race. It's almost better to finish dead last than to ever miss a race, because you go from gaining, maybe 15 points to 0. And 15 points, it's not ideal, but it's better than 0. Simple math. And looks like we had a lot of takers from the top 5 pit last time by. Hunter Hayward still opting to stay out here. Brian Fine in the 98 sitting in 2nd place, calling out that he's pitting, as well as the 66 of Carl Thompson.
Yeah, so our own leader just crossed the line to complete lap 40 to start 41. He has not yet decided to pit. Oh, what a race between Caleb Kilo and I believe that's the 4 Harold Rothery. Actually, that's the 85 of Garrett Fox. So a lot of great battling going on as guys are cycling through pit sequence here. We'll have to see how it all shakes out once it gets everybody on pit road. Leader Hunter Hayward now hitting pit road in that 21 as he's coming down here on lap 41.
Well, to put this into perspective, the difference between the fresh tires and the older tires, Stephen Carey just ran a 31.4 last time by, let me see what Hunter Hayward's was. I believe it was in the 32 to 33 second bracket, so about a second faster, a little over a second faster from what everyone else was running. Stephen Carey may come out with the lead here, but I don't think he'll have it for very long.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I think he's going to definitely cycle around to that lead as about to see with Hayward coming off of pit road now. Carey's going into 1. Yeah, he should make the pass here coming off 2, as I think it'll be almost directly side by side as they go to 3 here, actually, as Hayward did a great job on pit road to minimize that gap. And yeah, Carey will go around, sequel to the lead in that 83, but I tell you what, once the 21's tires get up to temp, he will be on rails.
Well, looking at the pit stop times, Hunter Hayward was able to have a pit time of 14.9, whereas Stephen Carey a 15 flat, so a 10th quicker on pit road for Hunter Hayward, and then directly behind them, 2/10 quicker for Cale Seaman than Hunter Hayward was. So a lot of time. It just shows you how much that extra 10th or 2 on pit road is really going to help you out on the track.
Looks like Ryan C. White and the 81 of Jeff Carson, the 6 of Richard Gonzalez, all have yet to hit pit road here on lap 44. So they are stretching here, and I'm getting word they pitted on lap 9 or 10 on that very first caution, so they're able to stretch that fuel. And here comes Ryan C. White down pit road. Now Jeff Carson continuing to stay out with the 6 of Richard Gonzalez. So 2 drivers yet to hit pit road. At the moment, Stephen Carey will be in the net position to be the leader, but I tell you what, Hunter Hayward is about to pounce here as they come off of 4. He is right on the rear end of that 83, and this will be our race for the lead.
Well, talking about the guys that pit during the early cautions, I like that call, especially if you're back in the field. Top off. You're not going to lose too much track position. Hunter Hayward's all over the back bumper of the 83 here. He wants to get that pass made. He's going for most laps led. Robert's making some observations. Apparently there's a Freaky Fast logo on the 83 here, so thank you Steven.
Looks like Hunter Hayward able to complete that pass in the 21 machine, move himself up to that 3rd position. Here comes Richard Gonzalez down pit road as Jeff Carson continues to stay out with 19 to go as Richard Gonzalez for the 2nd position hits pit road.
Now, to really make this strategy work for Richard Gonzalez, extending his fuel the way he did coming down, he had to fix damage, so he might as well take some fuel while he's doing it. He needs a caution. Otherwise, I don't think there's there's not enough time for those tires now to make up the difference, even though he's going to have, close to 5-6 laps fresher tires than really anyone else.
Here he comes, Jeff Carson down pit road in that Bud Light machine And you know, that's the thing. If a caution does come out for this 81, he's gonna have the freshest tires, like you said, Brandon. So I like these calls for, you know, topping off, you know, if you're near the back of the cycle. But I tell you what, Hayward was able to get past Carey, but you know, we seen Carey was quicker in the, you know, the middle phase of that last run, and he's all over the back bumper of Hayward. But I think at some time that tire difference should start to play a factor, as I believe this time by Hayward should cycle to the lead.
Well, I think, Zach, what happened is, you know, early in the run, early in the race, the track's not going to have as much grip, not a lot of rubber on the track, and Carey really had to push his car to make up the gap that Hunter Hayward had built. But after this cycle here, they came out right next to each other. He's not having to push real hard to keep him in sight or, you know, gain back a lot of ground. So he's just kind of riding right now. But the problem is that Hunter Hayward had such incredible long run pace over everybody else. He was able to pull out a huge gap before the pit stop started to happen.
Looking back here at David Edwards, he's now up to the 5th position from 12th. And look behind him, too, the 10 of Caleb Kilo. He won a Chicagoland race last season here in the ARCA Evolution Series. He's up to 6th from that 22nd starting position. So the 10 car is showing a good bit of pace here in this race.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, it's what I talked about before, that it sucks to not qualify up towards the front, but if you feel like you've got a lot of pace and you can really figure out the handling, you can make up the spots pretty easily where other guys struggle, especially late in the run. And Caleb Kilo, he's able to do that pretty efficiently right now, up 16 positions.
Doing a great job up that many positions there. Steve Jennings battling with Brian Fine behind us. He gets by in that 01 and makes the pass for that 7th position. But here comes Brian back in that 98, and I think the 98 stopped a little bit later as he has a little bit fresher tires as they come out of 2. He's closing in on that 0-1 here.
Well, as we're watching that battle take place, I'm looking at the lap times here, and up to 4th position now, the 14 of Christopher Smerol, about a 10th quicker now than 1st and 2nd, and Stephen Carey's fallen off considerably now, running about 4/10 slower than our leader at the moment. So Christopher Smerol is making a charge here late in the race. I don't know if he's going to have enough time, but if there's some lap traffic they run into, Chris could be there.
Yeah, that's very true. He could definitely play a factor in this down to the very end here. So I'll have to see how, you know, you never know when it comes down to the end of this race, especially because more guys are catching lap traffic here. As you see the 28 here of Justin Hendry. He's directly in front of our leader of Hunter Hayward, as he's going to be going by trying to put him a lap down in that 28 machine. See him go up high. Here comes the 21 of Hunter Hayward working that bottom lane. Looks like he will clear that 28 as the X off 4, and he will put him a lap down here with 12 laps to go for that 21 machine.
Compromised his exit just a little bit, had to keep it pinched down, didn't quite carry enough speed, but it didn't hurt him too bad as Cale Seaman wasn't really able to make up too much ground now. And continuing to fall for the 17, back to almost a second now at a second. He was only 9/10 of a second back going into turn 1, so Hunter Hayward really has turn 1 and 2 figured out.
Yeah, he really does. He's really flying through that corner, man. So it's making it look very good right now, as Kel Seaman is going to be his closest competition. Kel's about 2/10 slower that last time by, so I believe Kel, with the one less lap fresher tires than Hunter, is going to struggle to hang on here with 11 laps to go. But if a caution comes out, if he can just keep him in a good range, we've seen how much the tires rejuvenate when the caution comes out, and it could be on from there. Ten to go here as Hunter Hayward heads back down to turn 1, leading this race in the 21, trying to go back-to-back here to start his season in the ARCA Evolution Series, as we got the 10 of Caleb Kilo trying to hold off Garrett Fox here for that 8th and 9th position. What a battle this is. You see the 85 get the run to the outside of the 10 of Caleb Kilo. Side by side, almost touching down the back straightaways. They head to 3 and 4. It's going to be a drag race coming out of 4. Another great run from the 85 Garrett Fox, getting door to door here.
I
With
wish
the
I could see all
Caleb
this.
Kilo. As they race down the front straightaway, side by side, to go in the 1 and 2. Very close race. The 85 goes to the top lane, 10 to the bottom lane. Who has the run here? Most likely coming to the 85 as they exit off of 2. Not the greatest run, still pulling ahead, but not as much as you expect here as they go to 3 and 4 side by side. As Garrett Fox there blinks out for a second, but it's still side by side. Coming off of 4, I think Garrett Fox will finally complete that pass and move himself up to the 8th position over Caleb Kilo. Looks like 8 laps to go here. As we're riding from the A post of Garrett Fox's car, you can see back there's the 10. The 10 get a pretty good run here off of 2. Can the 10 come back on the 85 of Garrett Fox? We'll have to see, but I don't know if he's going to have the time. Is in front of them, Brian Fine getting all over the back of Steve Jennings for that 6th and 7th position as that battle starts to heat up here with 7 to go. What a race we're seeing down to the very end here. It's Ryan C. White. Remember, he pitted very late, so he's got very fresh tires trying to work his way through these cars. Always going to cut to the bottom in that 20 to make the move on Lon Coleman in that 12, and that's going to push him up to the 6th position past Josh Holmes in the 000. Great side-by-side races. You see now him trying to get by the 55. I believe the 55 is a lap down from Matthew Jude. Yes, it is. So that is not for position, but Ryan C. White up to the 16th position from the 28th starting spot. Been a fantastic climb for him. As look now at Kel Seaman, he is smooth selling at the moment. About 2-second leads over that 14 of Christopher Schmerol, as he was able to drive himself past Stephen Carey in 83 and put himself into a podium position here with 5 laps to go on the racetrack.
Man, I tell you, Zach, I was having some issues. My internet was going nuts, but I could still hear everything you were saying, painting a very beautiful picture there. And these guys, man, the chips are down now. Only got a handful of laps left. Everybody's getting after it. Some great battling all over the racetrack.
Well, I'm not the greatest artist, but I guess my words can paint a beautiful enough picture for you to follow on. So we'll take that here as Hunter Hayward is going to exit off of turn 4 here this time. Take 4 to go as he's got about a 3-second lead build up now and continuing to build that lead here as he's asking for no yellows down to the end. And I tell you what, the battle for second, it's getting closer. It definitely is there as Christopher rolled about a 10th faster last time by, but going to need more than that with 4 to go to catch up to that 17 of Kelsey.
I tell you, if I'm the 14 right now, they say race car drivers have memories of an elephant. I'm hoping for a caution because the position he's in right now, nobody's going to be coming into pit. Nobody's going to have any tires left. And he's going to be starting right on the back bumper of that 21. And he might be a little bit aggressive, a little more so than he usually would be, considering last week they're battling for the lead with him.
Great stuff all the way down to the end here with 3 to go. Hunter Hayward working through turn 3 and 4. As I believe we heard somebody in the wall. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was directly in front of Hunter Hayward here as he comes by. That was the 11 of Chris Claude. He works his way past here with 2 to go, navigating his way through this lap traffic. Still come back up on the back bumper of the 000. Josh Holmes there. He'll try to get to the inside here and continue to pull away as he's up to a 3.5-second lead here. And they'll be coming to the Sheffield Graphics white flag here as he comes off of 4. Hunter Hayward gets the flag he wants to see. White flag in the air one final time for the 21 of Hunter Hayward as he takes one final lap around this Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Guiding it down to the bottom here. Going to catch the lap traffic directly ahead of him of the 12 of Lon Coleman. Going to try to stick it down to the inside and make this pass stick here as he heads down to 3 and 4. For the final time tonight, right on the bottom lane, Hunter Hayward going to go back-to-back here in the ARCA Evolution Series to kick off his season with 2 starts, 2 wins. He is your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight, Hunter Hayward. Congrats to him as Kel Siemens going to come across the line second with Christopher Sproul finishing 3rd place. So great race all the way down to the end. And I tell you what strategy we seen there.
Well, Zach, this makes me wonder. Last night in the truck series, we had a winner from the pole. Tonight in the ARC Evolution series, winner from the pole. What are we going to see in the Cup series?
Very true. Very true. We could see another pole to win situation, or we could see a last to first situation. You never know of racing. But again, congrats to Hunter Hayward. He's going to come down here to the front straightaway in this DoorDash number 21, and he's going to do us a nice little burnout here and show us how happy he is here to get his second victory in a row in this 21. Oh, don't wreck it. Oh, and yep. Yep. You're going to
You
see a
didn't see
nice
that.
little pancake. Oof. Yeah. We're going to have to ask him about that burnout. 2 wins in a row, you think you get used to burnout here. So
I think he's just making sure the car passes tech.
that's true. He's pulling a Jimmy Johnson off here.
Yeah, there you go.
But congrats again to Hunter Hayward as he celebrates in a very interesting way here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We will be back in one moment here as we get our top 3 finishers up here in the booth. All right, we are back here for the end of the ARCA Evolution Series here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we got our top 3 finishes here tonight. As you can see, Chris Morrow was able to put himself up in the top positions here tonight in that 3rd position after his win at Homestead. So let's hear what his thoughts are on bringing home another good finish here in the top 3 tonight. Hey, Chris, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Hey, Zach. Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Hey, buddy. Well, I'll tell you what, another great run for yourself tonight after your win at Homestead. You had a great run going last week at Auto Club. Unfortunately, a little bit of contact there, and your night went up in smoke, unfortunately. But I tell you what, you were able to bounce back here at Las Vegas tonight and show a lot of pace again here in this 14, man. How was the racing out there?
Good. Once everybody settled down with the early cautions and we got to those long green flag runs, it kind of everybody got into a rhythm and it was just a lot of fun. So, yeah, feels like the season has either been finishing last or up toward the front. There hasn't been any middle grounds. But yeah, hats off to Hunter and Kale. Ran fantastic races. Had no chance of catching them whatsoever. And yeah, that's it, man. We felt good going into it, and looking forward to Phoenix next week.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to get into next. Is we head to our first short track style racetrack at Phoenix. What can we expect to see, and how do you feel about Phoenix?
Personally, I like Phoenix. Any excuse that I have to race there in whatever car, I love to run it. But it is kind of one of those tracks where you get one thing wrong and your night's over pretty quick. But I like the varying the 3 different turns. You got to kind of adjust for each different type of turn. I think we're doing the open dog leg, which should be interesting. That always can lead to some interesting, I guess you call them rejoins there as you're trying to go into 3. But other than that, man, yeah, we're the MR73 team is going to be practiced and prepped and ready to go.
Awesome stuff, Chris, man. Well, congrats tonight on third, buddy. Anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go and get ready for next week in Phoenix?
First and foremost, my family as always, and for their support and love. And MR73, these guys rocked it tonight. We had a little bad luck early, but recovered, rebounded pretty well. And to the league, obviously, Ryan and the whole team put on a fantastic product. Tuesday nights are a highlight of my week. And to you guys, really looking forward to the broadcast. You guys always do a bang-up job with it.
Thank you very much, Chris, buddy. Congrats again on third here tonight, and we will catch you next Tuesday. All right, that was Chris Smarol here in the 14, bringing home that third place finish here tonight. Congrats to him. But now we'll move on to Kale Seaman, who has actually got his third top 5 of the season here tonight. So let's see what his thoughts are on Las Vegas. Hey, Kale, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy.
Hey, man.
Hey, buddy. Well, I'll tell you what. Great race again for yourself tonight, Kale, in that number 17, man. You're able to start in that 4th position and work your way up 2 positions here tonight through those longer runs and really show you had a lot of pace as the runs definitely went on. So how was the racing out here at Las Vegas tonight? And, you know, what was it like out there?
The racing was really, really good, man. A lot of the cars gave you room to pass. It was difficult to pass, but they gave you enough room. They didn't, race you too terribly hard, but I mean, it was great. A whole lot better than what happened to me last weekend, getting stung by that caution.
Yeah, and I was going to get into that next. Is this is your third start of the season, as I believe you have missed one of the races here this season, but it is your third top 5. So that put 3 for 3 when it comes to top 5s this season, and then we head off to Phoenix next week. So do you think you can keep that trend up and also assess your season so far in your first 3 races?
Well, I missed the first race at Daytona because I had to work. So I can't. I have to work. But these last 3 races have been. I've learned a ton. Tire conservation is a big part of it. Cody McCauley with 62 Designs, he helps a ton on teaching my team the line around the racetrack and how to pace the car, how to conserve the tires and when to go. I'm still working on it. I hadn't quite got as good as Hunter, but it's coming. It's definitely coming.
Well, man, I tell you what, if you keep putting in these top 5, sooner or later it's going to be you who I'm talking to in victory lane. So, like you said, it's going to keep coming, man. And that's another great finish for you here tonight in the 2nd position. Anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go and get prepared for Phoenix next week?
Man, just Cody McCauley and the whole 62 Designs team. If you need paints, go send Cody a message on Facebook. 62 Designs on Facebook as well. They get you painted up. The car looks awesome. Just everybody on our team, and we put a lot of effort into this race. Practice. I mean, we put a ton of effort into it, and it showed.
Well, man, congrats again, like I said, again on second here tonight, and we will catch you again next week at Phoenix.
Thanks, Zach.
All right, that was Kel Seaman here tonight, pulling off that 2nd spot. 1 short to this man here, the 21 Hunter Hayward. Let's see what his thoughts are on going back-to-back here at the ARCA Evolution Series. Hey, Hunter, it's Zach up in the booth, buddy. You got a copy? Hey, Hunter, it's Zach up in the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, buddy. Well, another victory here tonight. 2nd start of the season, 2nd victory. How's it feel to go 2 for 2 to kick off this ARCA Evolution Series for yourself?
Man, feels great. Feel like Jimmy Johnson. How about that?
How did I know you're going to compare it to Jimmy Johnson? If anybody didn't know, Hunter Hayward is a huge Jimmy Johnson fan. You even did a good job there of making it past post-race inspection. We made a joke about that too. So that was definitely good. First of all, great racing out there. We'll get into the racing, but what was up with that burnout, buddy?
Yeah, we're not. Let's just skip over the fact of that burnout. Well, maybe first gear's a little bit too short because I tried to burn it down and it went nope, and I go right into the wall. So, and my team owner Richard was over the radio as I'm spun. He's like, "What the heck are you doing there?" But I take it. Awesome race on that part. I'm glad I won last week. I didn't feel too good about that win. I felt kind of bad, but that's how I like to win a race. Long grid flag run strategy plays in fact. I got around the 83, and I just knew it was just time to set sail, and he burned his stuff up. I like to save myself all race, and we had a really strong car today as well. I'm looking forward to Phoenix next week.
Yeah, you definitely did. You're showing a lot of pace here through these first two races here, especially tonight in Las Vegas. Definitely, I think the field was definitely taking note. We got to figure out what this 21's doing because you were definitely on the long runs. That's like you said, you saved your tires, you made them work at the end. Now, we had Auto Club, we had Las Vegas. Those are more intermediate style racetracks. Now we head off to the Wild Wild West here at Phoenix in the short track style racing. How does short track racing compare to your intermediate style racing?
Yeah, like I said, I'm more of a Jimmy Johnson, not a Kevin Harvick. So I'm not looking forward to Phoenix whatsoever, man. I'm gonna have to get a ton of practice there. I don't know what's up with short, flat tracks, but I just can't figure them out. I'm pretty good in New Hampshire, I guess. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to get a lot of practice for Phoenix. So I don't know if I'll be as big as a threat as it was the last two races at these big intermediate tracks. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next week.
Hey, buddy, we'll have to see how it all plays out, but you were able to bring home your second victory of the season, your second start, we must point out. So great way to start out the season for you. Congrats on that. Anybody want to send a shout to you, shout here tonight for the victory?
Yes, sir. All my family watching out there. I love all y'all. Thank you for tuning in and watching every race. All my teammates out there, Lon Coleman and Richard Gonzalez, Sideways Racing, everyone out there. Let's see. Everyone who works at this 21 team to make it ever better. Y'all for broadcasting all this. I'm very thankful that y'all can broadcast this. Y'all are really good out there, and yeah.
Well, buddy, congrats on the victory here tonight, and we will talk to you next week at Phoenix, hopefully.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir. You have a good night.
You too, buddy. All right, that was your race winner here tonight of Hunter Hayward in that 21 machine, bringing home his second victory of the season. Congrats to him. What a race it was. But we'll go ahead and pull up our race results here and let you know where your favorite drivers came home tonight in the finishing order. As Las Vegas was a blast here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and we were definitely going to have a great time here coming up in the Cup Series. But let's bring your race results here as Hunter Hayward able to bring home that victory here tonight in the 21 machine. Second is going to go to Kel Seaman. Third position is going to be Christopher Smerol. Fourth is going to go to Stephen Carey. Fifth is David Edwards. Sixth, Stephen Jennings in the 01. Seventh is going to be Brian Fine. Eighth is going to be Caleb Kilo. Ninth is going to go to Garrett Fox. 10th is going to be Harold Rothery. 11th position is going to go to Matt Upbrook. 12th is Jeff Carson. 13th, Carl Thompson. 14th, Ryan C. White. 15th, Zach Sandlin. 16th, Scott Taylor. 17th is Steve Porter. 18th, Kevin Dowd. 19th is Lon Coleman. 20th is Josh Holmes. 21st, James Wright. 22nd, Buddy Pitts. 23rd, Chris Claude. 24th, Matthew Dude. 25th is Justin Hendry. 26 is Richard Gonzalez. 27th, Justin Malarkey. 28th, Michael Haru. And rounding out your field in the 29th position is Steven Rasick. As that is your race results here tonight from the ARCA Evolution Series at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. What a fun time it was here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you all for tuning in and showing your support and love. We love you all out there. But Brandon, how can we wrap up here this race here tonight?
Well, if you love this race, stick around about an hour from now when we cover the RSR Cup Series. Man, it's going to be a blast. I can't wait to see it. Much longer race, a lot of strategies, and I think it's going to be a little bit hectic.
I think it will be. I think it'll be very fun to watch. So make sure you don't miss that, as the ARCA Evolution Series was a blast as always, calling these ARCA cars, going around these wonderful tracks at the iRacing.com virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So thank you all for tuning in, but let's send it up to Robert Moyer Jr. as he'll close out tonight's broadcast. and we'll get ready for the Cup Series.
That is correct. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in out there. Like these guys said, at 9:20 Eastern, we will be with the Cup drivers here, and we'll see, like Brandon was saying, we had a pole winner yesterday. We had a pole winner tonight here in the ARCA, so we're going to have a repeat and have a number 3 in the Cup Series. Well, stay tuned, tune in, and let's find out what happens as they take on Las Vegas here with the RSR Cups. Until then, hopefully we catch everybody at 9:20. We like to say here, freaky fast. God bless everybody. We love yous all. Peace out.
Later, guys.
Bye, guys.